I was younger, back in my university days, what I used to do was a thing called a mental gym for me, which was doing a set of rituals, a set of steps that would help me mentally to prepare for my day. Since doing this really helped me to manage my emotions, to manage my triggers, and be more in control with myself. Let's just give you an example. Each of us has certain triggers that if we just stay at home and don't talk to anybody and don't like go through social media, there will be much probability that we will get triggered by certain people, by certain things. But once you go outside, there are so many triggers that you can get. There are so many things that you can think that I thought that I've healed, but I still feel so I still feel so not in control. I feel triggered. I feel not confident. I feel that I am so weak and I don't have the mindset that think that I want to manifest. So all of this can be a challenge once you go into society, into your workplace, into university, anywhere else. So what mental gym is for me is just like you would go to the gym and do all the exercises to prepare yourself, to prepare your body, be stronger, and to become this person that can handle challenges more. The same thing for me is like the mental gym, because I think it's so important to train your mind, to train it the way you want it to feel, to think, to train it in a way to not react to a certain situation. So this is what I would do, and this would help me tremendously throughout the days that I would just go through. Okay, so let's just go with the practical like examples for you to understand. So first is, of course, I've mentioned the triggers. So first, what you need to know is know your triggers. For example, somebody says something to you and you react aggressively, or otherwise you just freeze and you don't say anything. And this, at the end of the day, can become a thing that would make you feel so sad, so empty, because you didn't do what needed to be on that time. Like you didn't react the way you wanted to. For example, it's morning and you are just starting your day, and if you just know your triggers and know what makes you react emotionally, think different about yourself, then that would help you just be more self-aware at first, right? So what you are going to do is write down what are your triggers if you don't know already, right? So for example, when somebody comments on my appearance, or when I see somebody successful, or when somebody talks to me in a specific way, I get triggered even though they don't mean anything bad, because I just have to feel like I have to constantly defend myself. There are so many triggers that you can feel. So if you see these triggers that you wrote and you see a certain pattern that keeps on going in your life, that for example, it's been a month or 2 months, and you see that whenever something happens, specific situation happens, and you react really like negatively, but then you go home and you think like, why did I react like this? Why did I just burst out? Or why did I just freeze and not protect myself and didn't set a boundary, right? So this can make you regret. So what mental gym is for me is that knowing that you have these triggers and seeing if there is a specific pattern, that there is a specific pattern going on, and you keep getting the same same phrases from the people, same judgments, and you feel bad because you reacted and just didn't act the way you wanted to. What mental gym is for me is that you know your triggers. This means that you know your weaknesses. So if you don't know your weaknesses and you know them, like you feel like there is something subconscious but you never acknowledge it, this can make you feel weak. Because even though like life is not a battle, constant battle, like when you go out like from your home, there are certain things that trigger us, that make us emotionally react. And if we don't know about it, and if we don't have certain mechanisms, certain methods to know how to react, then this can make you stuck in a loop. So what mental gene is, finally, that I can talk about that is, for example, you wake up in the morning, you already know, you wrote down and you see like, yes, I do this thing, I constantly can shout at people, scream at people, or I cannot protect myself, or I can be somebody who would just be jealous of somebody, of a specific appearance or specific trait that can have. You know this, you know that there is a pattern, you wrote that down. So what you are going to do next is just sit down and have a notebook and just write down, okay, I have this trigger. Let's have just one example. When I see somebody who is very gorgeous and who is very pretty, and I feel like I have to compare themselves, and I feel like that I have to compare to them, and I see this pattern and I think that, and I feel so bad at the end of the day, because subconsciously I keep comparing myself to this girl and I feel so bad about myself, but I don't do anything about it. So next, what I'm going to do is, you have a thing that's called, like, you mentally visualize how you are going to behave. So for example, like, you keep subconsciously comparing yourself, somebody just keeps comparing themselves like to this girl, like to how pretty she is, and they don't see their own beauty. So during this mental gym, what you are going to do is, you are going to sit down and just mentally think, how else would you react in this situation? So usually how would you react is like, you would compare subconsciously and just be in your comfort zone, because okay, I felt these emotions, I'm not going to do anything about it. But this time what you are going to do, because you are during your mental gym time, so during your mental gym time you are going to visualize a situation that you saw, like, not say you, like this person, just an example, you can think of your own thing, your own trigger. So this person just can think like, okay, I'm going to visualize a situation again where I see a very pretty girl, and what I'm going to react, how I'm going to react this time is that I will see that she is beautiful, she is gorgeous, but I will also see my own beauty and think that she has her own like beauty and I have my own. It doesn't make me less. So something like that, whatever like would help you to make you feel better. And what you are, as I said before, going to do is just visualize how are you going to react to it. So you are preparing already, you are preparing your brain how it is going to react to it. And I promise you, if you do this like for several days, you will see that a specific situation appears that is a pattern. You will suddenly see that you totally react differently than you used to. You see that your brain starts to tell you, okay, I see this pattern, because especially in the morning, which is like the best time, because you are awake, you are alert, and you can just be more clear, your thoughts can be clear, you can understand, yes, okay, I have this thing, I have this trigger, and I wrote that down. I remember that in my mental gym time, I wrote that if I get triggered by this, I know how I'll react. Brain will automatically tell you how to react. Okay, so for the next thing is, this is part of my routine also, like especially in university, was like, I would just do this almost every day, but you can do this like 4-5 times a week. And what I would do is have a little self-love ritual, like self-confidence, self-love. It can be a set of affirmations. I used to have a notebook full of affirmations, and like I would constantly write them down, because if you see that on the paper, then your mind, like your subconscious mind, takes it faster than just saying this to yourself. But you can just say this also like to yourself, it doesn't matter. I would have this like self-love time where I would just whether meditate, would say affirmations to me, and I would just visualize how much I love myself, how much I valued certain traits about myself. So this would also be like my mental gym part of my mental gym. Next thing is analyzing yourself. Analyzing yourself meaning if you are a person who does sort of self-development work, who does this thing, for example, the mental gym, you can have your, like I call this mental gym, but you can have your own routine. And if you have like a specific routine, then you can understand your own patterns, right? So by analyzing yourself, for example, you can have a journaling session, and during your journaling session you can just write down how your day went. For example, if you work in a company, okay, so my company is very like nice, I like working there, today was very nice, my boss complimented how well I did on my task, but I was triggered by this thing. Although it was a great day, something really bothered me, or it was just a great day, or it was a bad day, doesn't matter. And by doing this and constantly like journaling and analyzing, you can have like certain idea how well you can progress, right? So well you have progressed during this, how well you started to become a person who is not that reactive, but more also into their healing. Next thing is having a sort of manifestation like part. So I think that it's very important for us to every single day try to do a little something for our manifestation. This is also a very great part for my mental gym, because I am just setting my intentions, and if I train my brain that I want this reality to be real for me, then if I just go on from like during my day, I will just know if I see something that would limit me, if I see something that would make me feel like, oh, I know that this is not possible, because I've trained my brain in a way that I think that this will happen, I know that this will happen, then my brain will just come up. The part of me that believes that this will come true, the part of me that trained in that mental gym, will come up and say, no, this is possible, because I am just training my mind. I'm training it through repetition. Okay, so I will try to repeat about the mental gym is that you can make your own way, you can make your own mental gym. But for me, besides like taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, it's always important to take care of your mind, to take care of your mentality. If you want to have a specific life, a specific manifestation, you are working on a specific manifestation, you are working on your healing, then this mental gym is like your own little space that you go there, you prepare your brain, you try to heal, you prepare how you are going to react, so you will understand that you are in control. You are in control of your emotions, you are in control of how would you react to a specific situation. You don't let other people's words, thoughts, anything make you react, because you have your mental gym and you can always come back to it. Because for me, like, this routine is my safe space, because every single time there is a situation that I feel like I could have done better, or I felt very bad about myself, I just go back to my mental gym and I write, okay, I understand why I react like this. I understood why I was like this. Because living like this makes you more of a person who learns and grows, but not just lives in an autopilot mode, like, okay, the next day is the same, the next day is the same, in terms of thoughts, in terms of emotions. So try the mental gym and have your own mental gym. This is like an armor for me, like a protection against my own reactions, against my own insecurities, against my own limits. Thank you for watching this video, and just write down, like, if you would just make your mental gym, from what routine would it consist of? For me, this is, for the current time, these are the ones for me. So comment down your own. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time. Bye.